Um, Now let's go towards stakeholder engagement. So basically, as I mentioned previously, um, stakeholder is either an individual or group or organization that has interest in and who is impacted or has effect or can be affected by the outcome of the project. So basically, anyone that has some sort of stake or some sort of interest in the project and can be affected with the project is a stakeholder. And generally, we can, in this class, we are going to interchange stakeholder and community. So when I say stakeholder, it also refers to the community in this case because we are talking more of a project like a community project for potable water reuse. So stakeholder or slash community in this case. So stakeholder engagement is the process, the word here is engagement, of establishing effective and productive relationships. So building a relationships to enable a shared understanding of goals or a shared commitment to change. So this one is basically a more of collaborative and more of towards more of a shared ownership and shared responsibility of a project. So that's the goal for having a stakeholder engagement. So they aim for, especially for water-related projects, and in this case for your water reuse project, is to incorporate public participation or participation much earlier in the planning processes. Okay, not at the end. So if you're planning a project and you just try to engage community after you have decided all the plans, then that's a very bad way of doing it. So this is much earlier in planning process to generate motivation. For example, about motivation about water scarcity or drought, for example, rather than just presenting new technology. So don't focus too much on the technology. Of course, you have to tell them about the new technology, but do not live and die about just new technology, focusing on new technology. You have to present that, generate that motivation for them to support your project. So there are some factors or some reasons why do we need to engage the community. So why engage the community or stakeholders? Basically, one of the reasons for that is this is supported by policy. All right, it's not a written policy or it's a written standard for people or for organization to develop stakeholder engagement, but it is something that is really positively supported by the government. For example, they expect industries and organizations to conduct community engagement before any project is being done because they see it as a necessary step to enable complete success of the project without any hindrance or any problems. So this is an accepted exercise now or accepted practice for many industries to conduct stakeholder engagement for any project, maybe engineering project, water project, energy project, or any other smaller projects. So there should be stakeholder engagement because the key term or the buzzword now is sustainability, and this supports sustainable engagement or sustainability in total. The second reason why do we engage community is basically ethical. It's basically ethical because the reason for most of the projects is to give assistance or products to the people, and the people is ultimately are the ones using or experiencing these products, and it's just but ethical to involve them of what they think about the product because they are the ones using, for example, in water, they are the ones gonna be our consumers. So it's just but ethical to let them give their own opinion, how to go about it, and to listen to their own ideas and thinking as well, and let them be involved. So it's ethics. And then basically, ultimately, any stakeholder engagement can help improve the project outcome. because for our project, if you are only involving one side, for example, like the technical side, you're only involving engineers, the planners, and you don't see the other side of the coin, then you will be able to miss some aspects that you don't see. For example, just a brief example that I can take now, can think now, is an example of the seat belts, for example, or the sample the of the airbags, for example, in the car for during accidents. So people before were just thinking about designing the seat belts and the airbags to men in the men's size, for example, and the usual or the average height of the man, the average build, and something like that. So the design was mostly based on those measurements. But women on the other side are thinking, oh, what about us? So women are built relatively smaller than men in general, and maybe shorter, and they have to take about their bodily features as well. So it doesn't really fit them properly if accidents happen, for example, if they are safe enough, or if they have considered about the seatbelt situation and the airbag situation about pregnant women, for example. How are they going to change the design to consider this aspect of the other aspect of that design? So it's important to engage in the initial process involving different stakeholders. So coming from the academe, for example, coming from the community, the leaders, the council leaders, the indigenous people, the men and women, the other people that are against also, and those who are supportive. So you hear them concerns and try to consider everything together and come up with something that is more collaborative and more how to say accepted by everyone. So this is why we need to do stakeholder engagement. So let us now talk about the key principles of engagement. So as I mentioned, I have to just to highlight this one, is the quality of engagement is more important over its quantity. So you need to provide something like there's a fairness in the procedure, you hear them properly, you address their concerns, and you let them know what their roles are, how their concerns or their opinion will be used in the decision making. So you need to provide quality time with them as well. So if you engage in a number of engagement, you need to provide as much time as possible as well. So the first principle for engagement is basically know your audience or the community. You know who are your targeting are, who are the people you are going to deal with. Understand what their needs are, understand their current issues, what are the constraints in their community, what knowledge they have, and behavior, for example, because all of these factors will eventually lead you to identify strategies on how to address them. So the knowledge, for example, if the people in the community are coming from a group of people that are not so knowledgeable about technology, are not so updated about the current issues, for example, and maybe a lot of people in that community are mothers, for example, so you need to know the strategies how to address them because they have different perception of risk, different way of thinking. They have their own concerns that need to be addressed. So please try to know your audience and community at the first instance. And we're going to explain this one or discuss this one more in the later slides. Then number 2 is use diverse mechanisms to reach diverse communities. So use different methods. Do not use just one method fits all. So you have to use different methods because the diverse people need diverse approaches. All right. So there are those people that are highly engaged. So in that sense, you can easily engage them properly. You can ask them to go in a workshop or to attend town hall meetings because these are the people that are highly engaged already. But there are also group of people that are disengaged. They are stakeholders, but they are disengaged. So it means that they don't really talk that much. They don't really give their opinion that much. But at the end of the day, they will be affected. So you need to have some strategy to how to handle them or how to communicate with them or engage with them. And it's important to provide outreach pathways to maximize your reach as well. So you need to make sure that you only not provide, for example, just say town hall meetings. So if you do your town hall meetings for your potable water reuse in Sydney, so you do it in the city, for example. And some people within Sydney are not capable or have that constraint of coming to the city to attend the meeting. So you need to consider these things. It's either you have another meeting or a workshop somewhere else near that community, because it will help for them to express their own ideas and their own concerns as well. So diverse mechanisms. Some people may use, like younger people, may use social media more, like Facebook. So why don't you go outreach with them or try to communicate with them with Facebook as well? And some people would like to see some actual process, and in order for them to believe the process. So why not ask these people that this group of community of people to go for a field trip, for example, a site visit, go for a wastewater treatment plant visit, for example, and see them, let them see the process, how it works, the water quality. You can also provide some visit on laboratories which use the process of potable water reuse, right? And also you can also build a model or a prototype and present it in a demonstration, in a demo. So there are different diverse mechanisms in order to get that information across and to have that consultation and participation from the community. And then the third principle is to frame the issue carefully. You have to know how to approach it, how to present the problem, how to present your solution, because framing will be an important aspect of potentially rejecting or accepting your idea or your proposal. So refers to how to frame your messages and information, how to get their attention and interest, and how to appeal closely to their own values. This can be more of attraction to them. So, for example, if you know people who are environmentalists, for example, so environmentalist people really care about the environment. So frame your message that doing the potable water reuse will actually be good for sustainability, good for the earth. So you are touching their emotion now. So it means now they are also relating to the need of that process in order for them to be convinced. So there are a lot of ways to frame the issue. And another one is branding, for example. The branding of your water, the product water, is important. And I will discuss this more. And we have discussed this one earlier about the importance of branding. So Singapore is one very good example when they use the word new water instead of recycled water. So these are very good. This is a very good example, and we will discuss this in the next few slides. So in total, in the engagement, in stakeholder engagement, the International Association for Public Participation, or IPP2, made a public participation spectrum on how to engage people and the level of their engagement. And so in this case, you can see there are 5 levels here, and they have these levels of increasing impact on decision. So one form or one step would be just for information dissemination. And then this is just to provide public with information to assist them in their understanding of the overall situation, like the problem, the opportunities, and solutions. It's not really very big, deep participation from the community. This is more of information. And then you can go for consultation. You hear them, you talk with them, you consult with them, you give them feedback, then you involve them. Okay, you involve them to work directly with the public, that their concerns are addressed and understood and considered, and then it goes now to collaboration. So collaboration means that you are really sharing responsibility, more or less. You are partnering with the public in the decision-making process. And then the last one and the highest one of form of engagement is to place final decision making in the hands of the public. So you just, give everything to them. You just let them decide, because now you are sharing full responsibility, and now you are giving them that power to decide on that specific project or proposal, right? And so these are some of the different activities, and I will give you more explanation in the next few slides. In relation to this participation spectrum, you can differentiate two kinds of stakeholder engagement. It's either just consultation part, which is defined by practices that only seek to generate public input. So you're just getting their feedback and their ideas towards the making of your decision. Or the second, more or higher level, is public participation. This is more designed to offer the general public a more active role. So in this one, public participation more or less in this area here. Involve, collaborate, and empower, and consultation is somewhere in inform and first two parts. Okay, so that's it for the principles of engagement.